What's going on, guys? Gorilla right here. Today I'm bringing you a video going over the Mechanics Syndicate assignment in Battlefield Hardline. I'm going to be going over how to complete it and also the weapon you get, the FMG9, by completing this assignment. So I've completed the Operator Syndicate assignment. If you guys want to check that video out, I will leave an annotation on the screen right now. But in this video, I'm going to be going over the Mechanic class and going over how to complete the Syndicate assignment for the Mechanics. So if we take a look at the prerequisites, you can see that the Mechanic Assignment 2 needs to be taken care of. You need to purchase 10 specific guns and gadgets and also unlock Mechanic Gold Service Star 1. So most of that is going to come just by playing with the Mechanic class. The Mechanic Assignment 2 requires you to get 10 sabotage kills and 25 submachine gun kills. So obviously the 25 submachine gun kills are going to be pretty easy, but the 10 sabotage kills can get kind of tricky. So I found that the best way to get the sabotage kills is to go into a hotwire game, sit at the spawns where the vehicles spawn, and just wait it out and run up, put the sabotage on when it spawns, and hope that an enemy gets in it. I found that by doing that, I was able to complete that in about 5 to 7 matches. I felt that I completed. I got about 2 sabotage kills each game with that. So with the Mechanic Assignment 2, the 10 specific guns, and the Mechanic Gold Service Star 1 completed, you are then going to be able to do the full requirements. So the full requirements are SMG kills of 200, which will obviously come just by playing with this class. The Unlock Mechanics Tier 4 Reputation track in different matches 10 different times. That is the toughest out of this assignment. If you guys know the Syndicate assignments, you're going to know that that is obviously the toughest, and that was the toughest when I was completing the Operator Syndicate assignment. But I'm going to go over my strats for that, go over how I completed that. But the other requirements are Repair Tool coins and Anti-Vehicle coins. You need 15 of each of those. So Repair Tool coins are easy to get if you just go into Conquest or any match that has vehicles and you are just repping and helping out teammates as much as you can. That is the easiest way to get those coins. The Anti-Vehicle coins will obviously come by blowing up and eliminating enemy vehicles, so that can get kind of tricky and take some time. But I felt that going into Hotwire, running around with an RPG, sure, it sounds kind of douchey, but that is the best way to complete that, I feel. So the Anti-Vehicle coins, the Repair Tool coins, will come by just playing with the Mechanic class in Conquest matches or Hotwire matches, I feel, and those are going to come with just playing with the Mechanic class. I feel that those are going to take a little bit of time, but not as long as the Tier 4 Reputation. So the Tier 4 Reputation are going to be the toughest for this, and I found that the way I completed this, especially with the Mechanic class, since you have the Repair Tool, I felt that going into a Hotwire game, throwing on a Reputation boost, which you get by getting those in Battle Packs. So by getting a Reputation boost, I was throwing on 50% boost and 100% boost for the Reputation. So by putting those on, it's going to increase the rate of which you get your Tier 4 Reputation. So by going into Hotwire, throwing on those Reputations, and sitting in a vehicle, helping repair, and just waiting it out, riding around in that vehicle, you will reach Tier 4 pretty quickly. It'll take some time, but eventually you will get there. And what I found I was able to do is I just went into some matches, I would get the Tier 4, and then I would leave, not waste any more time in the game, go into another Hotwire and do the exact same thing. That way you're not wasting those Reputation boosts, because those are timed. So by reaching Tier 4 Reputation then for that, I felt that by completing the Tier 4 Reputation, the SMG kills, the Repair Tool coins, and the Anti-Vehicle coins, you then will get the FMG9 and complete the Mechanic Syndicate assignment. So the Syndicate assignment, like I said, is really tough. Tier 4 Reputation is going to take the longest time, but if you throw on some boosts or even get a friend to help you out who is a hacker and just gives you Reputation, that will definitely help as well. But I found that those are the best ways to complete the Tier 4 Reputation 10 different times. So next I'm going to be going over the FMG9, which you get by completing this assignment, and I'm going to go over my main setup and go over the stats for this weapon, what I like about it and what I don't like about it, and give you a basic review for this weapon. Alright, so if we take a look at my main setup for the FMG9, you can see that for the optic I have the Cobra RDS, accessory I have the laser sight, and the muzzle, the heavy barrel. So most of these accessories and attachments that I'm using are, you're going to be able to switch these out and it's not going to have too big of a difference to this weapon. So if we look at the optic, I always use the Cobra RDS on most of my weapons. As you can see, it takes up very minimal space, and it's actually very easy to track enemies with this weapon and with this attachment. So The next, with the accessory, the laser sight, that's just going to increase your control when hip firing. That's very important to me when I'm using submachine guns, because being in close quarters, it's not always the easiest way to kill people is by aiming down sight. So if you're running around and in close quarters, it's very easy to shoot from the hip with this weapon and get kills and be accurate with the laser sight. As you can see, if you take it off, the control goes down a little bit, not too big. And I also feel that most of these other attachments when it comes to the accessories aren't too important and aren't going to benefit you very much, but the laser sight definitely will in close quarters shooting from the hip. So next, the muzzle, the heavy barrel. I always run the heavy barrel on a lot of weapons, mainly because it increases your accuracy. It decreases your maneuverability a little bit, but overall, decreasing the recoil and increasing the accuracy overall for the weapon is generally going to be very good. A lot of people like using compensator or muzzle brakes because it reduces the felt recoil. The compensator also reduces recoil, but it also does damage to the accuracy. And to me, the accuracy is very important for this weapon because of the low amount of damage that it does. So next I'm going to be kind of going over some of the statistics for this weapon, giving you guys what my thoughts are on the weapon, whether it's worth doing the Syndicate assignment, and whether you guys should really go for it, and if it's worth it. So I will show you those statistics and give you guys an overview for that. So when taking a look at the statistics for the FMG9, I realize that it's pretty different than some of the submachine guns and PDWs in Battlefield Hardline. I also noticed just by playing with this weapon, it's got a different feel than most of the submachine guns, but it's pretty cool and pretty unique to use in Battlefield Hardline. So I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons that I noticed with this weapon, give you guys a basic review regarding these statistics, and also give you guys my opinion on whether this weapon is in the top tier for these submachine guns. So if we take a look at the pros, the fire rate I feel is in the benefit for this weapon. It's 950 rounds per minute, which is above average for the submachine guns. So the 950 rounds per minute is definitely going to benefit you if you're using on the criminal side. So a lot of the criminal submachine guns don't have the highest fire rate and can kind of have a downfall when we look at that category, but being able to use the FMG9 on both the cop and criminal side, putting that into the criminal side, I feel that having a high fire rate is definitely beneficial, and I found that using this on the criminal side is better than some of the other weapons that you are able to use on the criminal side. But the cop side, having the K10 and the MPX, is still very good, so throwing in the FMG9 into that category as well is going to be pretty it's going to be pretty similar to those weapons, and you can use those over this weapon, but you could also use the FMG9 over the cop submachine guns as well. The next benefit that I notice is the 600 meters max distance. So it's got a pretty far distance with this weapon compared to some of the other submachine guns. It's above average, so I threw that into the the pro side of this weapon, and I feel that the max distance is definitely a benefit for this weapon because of its low damage. The recoil is the next benefit that I noticed. It's pretty good, it's pretty manageable, and I felt that it's very easy to control compared to some of the other submachine guns. Obviously some of the others are very easy to control, but this one I didn't feel was too hard to handle, so I threw that into the advantages as well. The next advantage I noticed with the FMG9 over some of the other submachine guns is the magazine size, which is 33, so that's above average when we take a look at the submachine guns. The only one I think that is higher than that is the P90, which I think is like around 50 in the magazine. So having a high magazine size is definitely going to benefit you, especially having a high rounds per minute. You're going to be running out of bullets pretty quickly with this weapon, but having a magazine size that's definitely above average is definitely going to increase your ability to use that ammo efficiently. So next I'm going to go over the disadvantages that I noticed. So the start damage for this weapon is 21, which is, I think that's the lowest out of all the submachine guns in Battlefield Hardline. The end damage is 12. That's incredibly low. Also, the damage start is 25 and the damage drop off is 35, so those are pretty good. The damage drop start of 25 meters is definitely further than some of the other submachine guns, but having a start damage of 21 is definitely a disadvantage. You're going to be having to 5-shot kill at most ranges, and I mean most ranges in between 25 meters and 35 meters, so having a very low damage is definitely a disadvantage that I noticed, and it took me a little bit to get used to this weapon and the amount of time it takes to kill. But One thing that I should mention is in an upcoming patch and update that I noticed that is going to be coming out for Battlefield Hardline in the near future, it's going to be increasing the damage for the FMG9, which is definitely going to make this weapon even better, and I feel that that's really going to make it in the top tier for the submachine gun. So when this patch gets released, it's going to increase the damage to 25, which is then in turn going to, I guess, make this a 4-shot kill instead of a 5-shot kill, which is definitely an advantage, and I feel that that's going to make this weapon incredibly good. It's also going to push out the fall off start range, so you're going to be able to kill at further ranges as well. So I think at the point right now when using this weapon, it's a pretty average submachine gun in Battlefield Hardline. It's definitely got its perks, but it definitely has a big disadvantage when you look at the damage. So it's really a preference point whether you want to use this weapon over other submachine guns. To me, I don't use this on the cop side as much because the MPX and the K10 are extremely good on the cop side. But when taking a look at the submachine guns on the criminal side, I do think the FMG9 has a bigger advantage because of the fire rate. So I feel that using the FMG9 in Battlefield Hardline is really up to you guys. I really like this weapon. I feel that it's a very fun and unique weapon to use. But when this patch and update comes out that increases the damage, I feel that this weapon's going to be even better, and I'm going to be using it a lot more, probably on the cop side even more. So hopefully you guys gained some information from this video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe for more videos and weapon reviews in the future. So thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you all later.